for your standard preparation. See here, this is the first arch, but can you see which nerve is running? Definitely mandibular nerve. Next nerve is the nerve of the second arch, that is the facial nerve. But can you see the facial nerve is sending one more branch which is running inside the first arch. Yes. In the same way, the nerve of the third arch, glossopharyngeal nerve, it is sending one branch which is running in the arch above. So we are using the diagrammatic presentation from the Inderveer Singh. See here, we are cutting these arches and making a straight diagram. So suppose diagrammatic presentation, this is the first arch, this is the second arch, and yes, here is the third arch. Okay, diagrammatic presentation. And you know the gap between the two arches is known as cleft. So the gap between the two arches is known as the cleft. Diagrammatic presentation, suppose this is the cleft. Yes, remember cleft means also trema. Cleft is also as the trema. Now see, the each arch is having the two border. What are the two border? This is the cranial border, or you can say upper border, while this is the caudal border, or you can say lower border. Now see, within each arch the main nerve runs along the cranial border. So this is the main nerve of the each arch. So can you tell me what should be the name of this various nerves? Yes, the nerve of the first arch is mandibular nerve, the nerve of the second arch is facial nerve, yes, the nerve of the next arch is glossopharyngeal nerve. But what happens, these nerves are also giving one branch which is running along the caudal border. Yes, it is not the main nerve, but it is also one more nerve which is running in the arch above. Yes, this is the one more nerve. What I want to tell you, within each arch main nerve is there, but one more nerve is there which is coming from the succeeding arch. So see here, because this part is known as the trema, so this nerve should be known as pre, because it is above, that's why it is known as the pre-trematic nerve. Okay, yes, can you see, this is the trema, so this will be known as the pre-trematic nerve. Yes, if this is the trema, so the nerve which is running along the cranial border, that should be known as the post-trematic nerve. So this is the post-trematic nerve. Getting the point? Yes, the nerve which is running above the trema, pre-trematic, the nerve which is running below the trema, that is the post-trematic, or in other word you can say the nerve which is running along the cranial border. Yes, nerve running along cranial border, that is known as the post-trematic nerve, while the nerve running along the caudal border is known as pre-trematic nerve. Why this concept is important? Later we will see in the tongue and its nerve supply. Remember, the facial nerve is giving the pre-trematic branch, and that pre-trematic branch is nothing, that is the chorda tympani. Yes, that is the chorda tympani. So this is the one of the MCQ. Which is the pre-trematic nerve of the first arch? Answer is the chorda tympani, one cord like nerve which is running over the tympanic membrane, which is running in the tympanic cavity, that is known as the chorda tympani, while the pre-trematic nerve of the second arch is nothing, that is the tympanic branch of glossopharyngeal nerve, which is also known as Jacobson nerve. Yes, these are the other MCQs, we will see later. Now just apply this knowledge with the development of the tongue. Do you remember? The tongue entry to third develops from the first arch. So definitely it should be supplied by the nerve of the first arch, that is the mandibular nerve. Yes, mandibular nerve is having three branches, ALI, auriculotemporal nerve, lingual nerve and inferior alveolar nerve, in which the lingual nerve is running towards the tongue. So anterior two-thirds of the tongue is supplied by the lingual nerve. Later we will see it is the general sensory nerve. While the spatial sensation, the taste sensation, they are carried by the spatial nerve. Which is the spatial nerve of the first arch? Yes, your answer is the chorda tympani. And yes, chorda tympani is the branch of the facial nerve. Now, are you getting the idea why the anterior two-thirds of the tongue is getting developed by the first arch, even then it is getting innervation by the nerve of the second arch? Chorda tympani, taste sensation. Again, we will discuss the same fact in our development of the tongue in better way, but just one concept, pre-traumatic and the post-traumatic nerve concept. Remember, this pre-traumatic, post-traumatic, during the evolution in human being, these nerves being rudimentary. Yes, the first arch is showing very well phenomena pre-traumatic, second arch is also, but the remaining arches are remaining pre-traumatic nerves in the rest of the arches are disappeared, but in lower animal, yes, these are very well developed. So after the discussion of these arches, now we are going to talk about the few very special kind of the MCQ. Yes, there was the MCQ in your NEET 2018, that MCQ NEET 2018 pattern. Yes, question was pharyngeal arch nerve develops from. This was your MCQ, and option was ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm, and one more option, neural crest cells. So you can apply the knowledge. Yes, pharyngeal arch. Arch means mesoderm. So your answer is the mesoderm. But according to the Gray's Anatomy, Larson, Langemann, this all the embryology, yes, I am going to tell you the fact. Here the mesoderm is not the best answer, but the neural crest cell is the more better answer than the mesoderm. So the best answer is the neural crest cells. Why? So this is one controversial question. It requires the updates. So just see this image. Yes, updates. See here what is happening in our body. There is the one terrorist cells are there, which are known as the neural crest cells. Yes, this derives from the neural element, nerve element, nervous system. That's a neural crest, because these are the special kind of the elevation. That's a crest. These are the group of the cells. That's why simple the cells. So these are the neural crest cells, which are just elevation from the neural structure during the development of the nervous system. These acts like the terrorist. They migrates within the eye, within the tooth, within the skin, within the pharyngeal system, within the GIT. Yes, there is a no particular way for this neural crest. That's why we are just doing imagination. These are the terrorist cells, because they are going any side of the country, any side of the body. So these neural crest cells, they goes inside the pharyngeal arches and gives rise to the various structure within the pharyngeal arch. Yes, it forms the mesoderm also. It participates in the formation of the mesoderm also. So what is happening? Actually, in this pharyngeal apparatus, not only one kind of the mesoderm. Actually, there are the two kinds of the mesoderm. One is the normal mesoderm, which we are going to give the terminology of the primary mesoderm or primary mesenchyme, while another mesoderm which is getting developed by this terrorist cell. Yes, these terrorist cells are developing from the nervous system part and they are going inside the pharyngeal arch. So these are making the another kind of the mesoderm. That's why we are just giving the term secondary mesoderm. Okay, now can you see this image? Yes, the primary mesoderm or primary mesenchyme in the neural crest, in the pharyngeal apparatus, they forms the muscular component as well as they are making the arterial component. But the secondary mesenchyme, mesoderm which are getting developed by the neural crest cells, they are making the pharyngeal arch nerve and the skeletal element. So if they are asking the pharyngeal nerves like the mandibular nerve, glossopharyngeal nerve, okay, superior laryngeal nerve, recurrent laryngeal nerve, facial nerve, these are derived from your answer. Best answer according to the update is neural crest cells. Okay, so this is one update for you. Secondary mesoderm, secondary mesenchyme about the neural crest cell. We will again meet these updates in the later part. Yes.